Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Crackin' Packs video. I am your host, Mr. Revers. That's right, we're back again. This time with War of the Spark pre-release kit. I was able to pick up at least one from my LGS. I wasn't able to play in the event, unfortunately, due to time constraints of other events and things going on with my weekend. So that's a really bummer for me, but at least I was able to, register for one and drop out so that I could get the kit. From my understanding from the LGS, one of the best attended pre-releases that they've had in a very long time. So that's good, I think, in my opinion. I'm not really surprised because, I mean, the set has been very well hyped by Wizards and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get right in. Hopefully we find something cool in here. Now I know that there is like... It's essentially a double promo, I believe, from my understanding. So you get a guaranteed Planeswalker in every kit, and you get a guaranteed and a foil rare, like a stamped rare. Now, let me just see here because I believe I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. That's my token with my code on it for Arena. If I manage to get my hands on any more kits, which I'm going to try to do if I can, I will be giving away codes for Arena if you didn't manage to get any pre-release kits yourself. So stay tuned for that. That will probably be done on Twitch, if anywhere. So I'm just going to put that off to the side so that I know where it is. Now, the other thing, too, here is that I like to try and keep the promo card a secret until the end. So let's see. Are we able to... All right. There we go. Okay. Promo card is sealed and away. You get your little, of course, you get your little sort of pamphlet about, what has happened in War of the Spark and sort of a synopsis. So like an evil mastermind is poised to seize unimaginable power. The greatest concentration of planeswalkers the multiverse has ever seen has united to stand against him. But his ultimate scheme is already in motion. Whoever wins this war will set the course of history. And then, of course, it tells you just sort of like, this is what you should aim for with your builds, 14 to 17 creatures and 6 to 9 planeswalkers. Now, this is just like basic information. My pre-release that I ran, the first pre-release event I did on the early access event for Arena, I actually only had 9 creatures in my deck, but that was because I had, I think 7 of my spells were amass spells, so really they make a creature, or at least make one bigger if you have it. So, anyway, without further ado, we'll move the die off to the corner over here, because we don't really need it to be in shot. And we're going to do this like I normally would with a pre-release, and that is to just check out the cards that we get. Let's... move that off to the side there. There's our green. Let's see what we find here. Tybalt's Rager. Firemind's Vessel. So Kiora is our first Planeswalker. Nice little blue-green possibility. And we got a Finale of Eternity, which this card is very good in Limited. Mainly because it lets you destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. So you get to pick, and then they get murdered. So, 'tis very good. We'll put the rares down there so that you guys can see. We've got, of course, a wizard token and just an island, which we don't care about. So we do, to be fair, we have a Firemind's Vessel and a Guild Globe, which are not like the best fixing, but they are fixing. So, I've been finding that generally speaking, like running... 2 colors is fine, but 3 colors is like normally what tends to end up being like the best case scenarios. So we've got some multicolor cards here too. We got a nice Gateway Plaza, which is good for fixing. So we have a Domri's Ambush as our first uncommon and Pledge of Unity, and Tibalt. Okay, so we got a nice little red Planeswalker there. Ooh, we got the Dreadhorde Invasion. Okay, this card is really good in Limited. So, very good, especially with Finale of Eternity. And then, of course, we've got a wall token and a swamp. The problem here right now is that our rares are black, but our black itself is not like super amazing at the moment. So let's see what else we find. 2 New Horizons, not particularly amazing. There's Giant Growth, good old Giant Growth. Spark Harvest, very good. Merfolk Skydiver, this card is actually really good. It's a little 1/1 for 2 with flying, but when it comes in, it puts a 1/1 counter on target creature, so you can put it on itself. So it's a 2/2 flyer for 2 that has a 5 mana proliferate, so not terrible. Invade the City. I haven't really like found that to be super relevant at the as of yet, but maybe I just haven't had the right deck for it. Samut seems really good. Giving all your creatures haste seems pretty decent. And we've got Solar Blaze, which each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So very good against some of like the decks that have big beefy creatures in them. And good for decks that are, you know, low power, high toughness. So a Huatli deck kind of thing would be good in for sure. Return to Nature, not a terrible card. Divine Arrow, very good. Huatli's Raptor. Bleeding Edge. Bond of Insight. And we got a Gideon. Alright. So far, 2 Mythic pre-release kit. So Gideon is pretty bonkers. 3 mana, 4 loyalty Planeswalker. As long as it's your turn, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible that is still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Gideon Blackblade during your turn. +1, up to 1 other target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible until end of turn. Or you can -6 to exile target non-land permanent. And we got a foil rare. Wow, foil Deliver Onto Evil, and this is one of my favorite arts from this set, and so I'm super happy that we got a foil of this, because that is beautiful. That Seb McKinnon art is just amazing, and holy moly. Choose up to 4 target cards in your graveyard. If you control a Bolas Planeswalker, return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them, leaves the chosen cards in your graveyard, and puts the rest into your hand. Exile, Deliver Onto Evil. Wow. And we got a Citizen Token and a Swamp. We have 2 packs left still. I actually don't really know what colors I would be playing at this point. I would probably look at playing like a white-black kind of thing at the moment, I guess. Because then we could play all of our decent rares. We just wouldn't be able to play Solar Blaze, but we don't necessarily care about that. Our blue is pretty lackluster. Liliana's Triumph is a decent removal spell. Angrath. Okay. Ying. That's not a bad one. Ying's not terrible. And we got a Spark Double, which this card is actually really good too. Imagine copying your Gideon, for instance. Yeah, take it. It makes a non-legendary copy, and if it's a Planeswalker, it comes in with 1 extra loyalty, or if it's a creature, it comes in with a 1/1 counter on it. Pretty good, actually. Let's see here. Okay. First uncommon, a Tybalt's Rager. Pledge into Unity. Ooh, Angrath is a very nice Planeswalker. Good to splash in any black or red deck, for sure. And we got Commence the Endgame. This card seems weird. So this spell can't be countered. Draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. It's kind of like a weird... It's an interesting card. And we got a foil Trusted Pegasus. Oh! That's super cool. Actually, I don't think I saw this token at all in my box, so that's super neat. I'm super stoked that we got that. This is a legendary token. Nice. I definitely think that we're aiming for like a white-black. Maybe we're looking at Esper, white-black-blue. Because like that lets us play Angrath, Kiora, but doesn't let us play any of these. It's kind of awkward, I guess. But it lets us play all our rares except for Solar Blaze. Not that we want to play Deliver Unto Evil, but we could. But I mean, like, we should look at our promo too, right? Because that might have some sort of deciding factor on what we play. So we got a foil Angrath. Okay, cool. So 2 Angraths better than 1, that's for sure. And we got Krenko. Wow. Does that push us into red at all? Does that make us want to play red? So when it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it, then create a number of 1/1 red goblins equal to the number of tokens on it. Equal to its power, I should say. Whoa. Whoa, daddy. That's tough. This is going to be a tough build. So let's see. Tap target permanent. If it's an artifact, destroy it, draw a card. That doesn't seem good. Divine Arrow seems good. Martyr for the Cause seems fine. Topple, no. Teo's Light Shield. It's fine as a filler. Another Divine Arrow, very good. Ironclad, no. When it's battlefield, other... Yeah, that seems fine as a 4. That guy seems decent. That's a fine filler. I don't really like battlefield promotion. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. You gain 2 life. It's an okay trick, I guess. It's not particularly amazing. I don't think we would be playing any of these cards. Let's look at blue. I don't think blue was very strong. Proliferate and draw a card is actually a fine card in this format. I don't really like Wall of Runes. No Escape is fine. Crush Descent is fine as a one-off, especially if you're playing the Amass deck. I'm not a particular big fan of Bond of Insight, but if you have the right deck for it, it might be okay. Just because you get to return 2 instants and or sorceries. Kasmina's Transmutation is good. Kiora's Dambreaker is fine. Strix is fine. Strix is fine. I probably wouldn't play any of these, to be honest. Vampire Opportunist, it seems not great to me. Like, it's a 2/1, it's a body for 2 mana, so it can get there. But the 7 mana ability is, like, you're not really gonna... Unless you draw it really late game and you're just using it to chip away, then it can close the game for sure, but, like... Spark Harvest, Liliana's Triumph, definitely very good. Kaya's Ghost Form, I'm not particularly fond of. Bleeding Edge, for sure. Another Spark Harvest, for sure. Herald, yes. Kaya's Ghost Form again. Aid the Fallen. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return target Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. That seems very good. This seems fine. I'm not sure if I don't think I want to run 2 Vampire Opportunists. So our black seems like mediocre. It has some okay removal. That doesn't have amazing. Doesn't have super amazing. Deals 1 damage to any target. Okay. That seems okay. Just because it's a 1/2 for 2 that has fire breathing. Spellforge, Spellgorger Weird is really good. Samus Sprint is actually a fine little trick. Goblin Assault Team. I'm not sure if I like that one. Honor of the God Pharaoh seems pretty decent. Chandra's Pyro Helix. Chain Whip Cyclops could be okay. I think our green was pretty beefy. So, like, Thundering Ceratok is fine. Vivian's Grizzly is fine. I don't know if you would play two of these, but I guess you could. Crunch Wrangler. Wow, we have 3 of these in Crunch Wrangler. Wow, okay. That could get pretty out of hand. This guy's fine for ramping early game. Return to Nature is actually not terrible because there is a lot of... well, I mean, there's not a lot, but there is some enchantments that do want to be removed. Giant Growth is fine. New Horizons is fine. Band Together is good. Primordial Worm is a fine filler. Pollen Bright is good. Yeah, our green is pretty strong. Our green is pretty strong, especially since then you would get to have Ying and Samut and Kiora. So maybe we look at going some other sort of combo here. Maybe we go like a green-white creature build. And then we just don't play the Finale or the Dreadhorde Invasion or the Deliver Unto Evil. It's possible, right? I feel like that's probably what I would end up doing is like play like some sort of like green-white. We don't have any removal in white, though. That's really the problem. So, like, the only thing we're playing white for is Gideon, right? That's the only thing we're really playing white for. So, I mean, we do have... Well, that's not true. We have a Wanderer Strike, and we have 2 Divine Arrows, which is actually not terrible for white removal. And in green, we have 1 Death Touch creature, and we have a Band Together, which is... And a Giant Growth. So, I mean, like, we have a couple little bit of tricks and removal in green as well, right? So, I mean, like, it's possible that that's the way you go. Because then you can also play your Pledge of Unities. You can play your Watley's Raptor. And then we could like look at Splashing Blue to use our Spark Devil with Gideon. Or with one of our other dudes. That means that we can't play the Angraths, though, and we don't get to play the Krenko. Krenko doesn't seem super amazing in this pool, just because we don't have a lot of proliferate. We have a few things that proliferate, but not enough that go with the red. And Angrath is just very good with Amass, but we don't have a lot of other Amass cards, other than, like, the Dreadhorde Invasion, and then, like... We didn't get any of, like, the blue Amass, right? Like, none of our blue amasses, except for Crush Descent, right? It's the only card that amasses. And then in black, our amass is, like, this one. Herald of the Dreadhorde and Bleeding Edge. And that's it. So our amass is actually pretty low. So, like, amassing is not, like, going to be something that we're going to be aiming for. Which is why the Dreadhorde Invasion is not necessarily amazing. Like, it can be very good because you can gain life if you get to 6 or higher, right? But, like, it's tough. It's tough. Anyway, so there was just a little look at a pre-release kit from War of the Spark. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know below in the comments what you think with this pool. What would you build? I mean, sometimes you get a pool that's just like, here it is, and this is what I'm building. And sometimes you get a pool like this where you're kind of like, I got a little bit of good stuff from everywhere. I don't know what I would do with this. Oh, we do have this Trusted Pegasus, too, in white. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The white's a little bit better, for sure. I mean, I really want to try to do the Gideon with the Spark Double. That would be hilarious, but, like, you know, that's living in a dream world, right? I mean, you don't have to do it that way. But the Spark Double is just very good to copy anything. So, I mean, like, as long as you've got stuff that you can do. And, I mean, like, the Crunch Wrangler with these Thundering Ceratox is pretty bonkers. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I've been your host, Mr. Bevers. This has been a little walk through a pre-release kit of War of the Spark. I hope you enjoyed your pre-release weekends if you played. If not, hopefully you get a chance to look at the product this weekend when it gets released. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, may your pulls ever be better.